Hey guys, Kev here, and I have an unboxing to do for you. This package here is from my buddy Justin over at Asher Knife Co. He's just a really cool dude. I've probably said that 5,000 times by now, but it is what it is. He's a great dude. He's a buddy at this point. We chat pretty regularly on Instagram. He has some really cool plans for Asher Knife Co. Some really cool designs and variations and just awesome stuff coming out, guys. So keep your eyes peeled for Asher. And I do want to mention I have a discount code for the website. So AsherKnives.com. And the code is LEFTY10, L-E-F-T-Y 10. You'll get 10% off your order over there. It'll all be in the description of this video. I don't get anything for that. But you guys get 10% off. And obviously, you know, he sends me knives sometimes. Like I asked him about the Centri. I wanted to check it out because, so the first Asher knife I actually bought was the Centri, the 1.0. And this was like right when his company really started, I think. Or when at least when the Nomad and the Centri dropped about a year ago, I think. And I ordered one and I got it. And it was one where, when those came out, the OEM he was using at the time screwed up, and they didn't put bearings in it like they were supposed to. They put washers in it, and the action just wasn't like perfect, but he discounted them and sold them. And the one I got had a little bit of blade plate. I just really couldn't get it dialed in, and it was just kind of annoying, so I reached out to him, and he basically sent me a brand new one, and it was fine. But it was on washers, and I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of that kind of action on a knife. Benchmade has seemed to kind of figure it out. It's still not great, though. Like, if you've handled any of the Ashers with an axis lock and bearings, it's incredible compared to, like, a bug out. Because you can get solid action, drop shut and everything, but no play, and be good to go. Whereas with Benchmade, you kind of have to balance it between blade play and action. That kind of happens with a lot of knives these days. But anyway, I didn't end up keeping those. I think I ended up sending them back to him so he could use them for whatever. Because I just wasn't going to carry it with the washers, and I just have not gotten around to trying the 2.0 with the bearings. I have the Nomad right here. On bearings, and it's just incredible. And I originally chose the Centri because I like the harpoon blade shape on that guy. So anyway, the other day I was just like, hey man, could you send me a Centri to review? I'd love to get back around to it. And he was happy enough to send it my way. So he did give me this. You know, I just want to be upfront about that. So the unboxing knife, guys, as usual, is the Avatak Shadow Ranger. And eventually that'll get old and I'll stop saying it like a douche, but for now, I'm going to keep doing it. Bam! Alright, that was easy. Freaking knife, man. I will say, it's really not the worst knife in the world. Like, you could probably EDC that knife every day and be just fine. And it has a seatbelt cutter and a glass breaker. I don't know, maybe it is a good tactical knife. It's not the greatest EDC knife of all time. Like maybe rescue knife, but I mean, not the greatest, obviously. Whatever. Anyway, you have your Asher Knife Co. box, guys. Pretty classic box at this point. I like it. Good presentation, yet simple. And then your knife is in there. Now, these have barcodes, but they never have the, like the description of the knife on it. Which I find kind of weird. So I think, well, no, because there's a foam cutout for the knife. I was thinking maybe he just like has the boxes and then he just grabs the knife and puts it in, but it needs to be cut out. So I don't know. I wonder why he doesn't have it say Centri or whatever. Maybe he buys the insert separately. I don't know. I could just ask him. Here we go, guys. This is the Centri. I asked for this guy in the black G10 with the white backspacer. Well, they all have the white backspacer, I think. But I wanted the black G10 because I have the gray on this one, which I really like, by the way, but I figured try something different. The weight on this guy is pretty good, actually. It is dead center. Look at that blade shape, guys. Just look at the spine of that knife. That shit's crazy. We have the Axis style lock. He doesn't have a name for it. I think he's just smart enough to just say Axis style lock, like, or crossbar lock. He's not trying to trick anybody. You know, you don't need to, rename everything just because you're, whatever. I'm going to shut up now. Yeah, and he set it up for Lefty, of course, because he's a great dude. And, oh, shit. This is smaller than I remember the blade being. Wow, this is cool. For some reason, I remembered it being kind of, like, much bigger than the Nomad. Obviously, I'm pretty sure that he can use this, like, you could swap these blades. You could use the handle for either blade style, because, like, the Nomad has a little bit of room down there from where the tip ends to the bottom of the handle, and I think that's because you could fit this blade shape in there. See how that goes down a little further than the Nomad? I don't know how you could tell, but I can tell for sure. See if I can line it up. If you look at the tip of the knife compared to the bottom of the scale, this one goes a little longer, and it would fit in this handle, basically. So I could blade swap these if I wanted to and have different color combination, which is kind of cool. So you could buy both and then do whatever you want. Dye the backspacer or whatever. But yeah, I really like this blade shape. That was what drew me into it the first time. I believe the version 2s have a different grind on them than they originally did on the version 1. Let's check the action on bearings. I mean, sorry, that was me. I got caught on my finger. What am I doing? I think this finger is in the way. Yeah, good clicky sounds, blade play. Yeah, there's like no blade play. I mean, I wrench it and maybe feel the slightest bit. My Nomad, I've never adjusted at all. Same thing, like the tiniest bit when you wrench it, like really good, which, like here's my bug out. This is, right, watch. See that? It drops pretty good. But there's so much play in here, it's not even silly. It's not even silly. Huh. The only company I've seen do it better than Asher is this TRM Shadow. This thing has no play. I mean, this thing is a rock. Like, you can't, even when I wrench the shit out of it, nothing. And it does that. And that's after it broke in. I got it, and it was pretty stiff, and that's on washers. But other than that, I have not felt a better action on an Axis style lock than the Asher's. And the thumb flick is much better on this than it is on that Shadow because the angle is better. You see where my thumb goes? I flick up and it shoots out, or it shoots straight up, and that gives me enough pressure to deploy it properly. Whereas the issue I've had with the Shadow, this is basically my only complaint, is the angle is more out, so you end up doing this, and you get like no pressure behind it, and the spring's not that strong, so you don't end up putting enough on it. Now, let me see if I get under it and push up. You see, even if I do that, that spring doesn't have enough pressure on it. Basically, I guess you could see here, it catches like right where? There. Can you see that? And then it drops. And this, you You see where it catches? It's much earlier, and it freaking really sucks it in. Like, so basically, the spring is the detent, and that detent is stronger on this guy, which makes it much easier to deploy all the way. And that really increases the fidget factor for me, because I can play with this, you know, and not worry about failing it every once in a while, which I do with the Shadow. So, again, it's my only negative with that knife, really. But it's a thing. There's a little bit of the stick on the lock. Kind of also a classic sign of the Axis style lock. You're going to get a little stick. I will say, if you clean this area, like right here at the top of the blade, that's basically where it's engaging with the lock. If you keep that area nice and clean, it'll go away pretty quick. So, let me just see if I can prove that. So I'm just going to take this brass rod, put it on a cloth, and then you just get in there, clean the front of that blade off. Yep, came right off. Basically, I'm sticking it into here, and then just kind of going back up and getting that blade cleaned off at the top there. And now, when I go to flick it and release, I have less of that stick. It's still there. It almost has a tactile click to it. I kind of like it, actually. As opposed to just having it be very smooth. Which, I don't know. I mean, I guess both ways is good. And as the S35VN wears in, that's going to get better. Maybe I was cleaning the wrong part. Hold on. Maybe I got to clean down here. Try that. No, same kind of click. I don't know, but I like it. So, whatever. S35VN. Again, no play. Just put this stuff away real quick. And, yeah. So, I really like it, guys. Asher Centri has this really cool harpoon blade on it. Obviously, it has this really nice Poon Spoon right here, as I've kind of named it. And for me, that's almost as good as having jimping, right? Because you can ride your thumb up to the harpoon ramp, and then you're kind of locked in right there. So that Poon Spoon is fantastic. The grind on here looks good. I'll have to cut with it, obviously, and see for sure. The only other markings you have are AK, the Asher Knives logo with that olive branch, and the steel marking. S35VN. This is a stone-washed blade. So this is one of the newer ones to come out. Centering is dead nuts. Dead nuts on centering, guys. This clip I found is really good. I don't know if he still offers two styles, like the shorter and the longer one. Both of mine have this clip on it. I know my Silva came with a different one. Hang on. My Silva came with a different one and now has this clip. So, yeah, so this was the premium clip he used to offer. But it seems like he has started to just put that on most of the knives. This Nomad frame lock has a different clip. So, some of them are different. That's the same on the Spiro. And then, yep. So, it looks like the newer knives have that clip instead. And yeah, so I basically have every Asher now except for the Classic. That's the only one I don't have, and it's not really one I want because it's a right-handed little traditional with one stud. Like, it's just not going to work for a lefty. But yeah, guys, that's the Asher Knives Centri, and I'm really digging it right off the bat. Since it's an Axis style lock, I don't think I'll do a disassembly. But I will do a first impressions kind of tabletop video on it. So keep your eye out for that in the next day or so. Yeah, so absolutely love it. Really appreciate Justin for sending this my way. Thank you, buddy. That's just means a lot that you support the channel. Sorry about that. I'm on lunch right now, and something just went off at work. But yeah, I really appreciate that you support the channel. And guys, check out AsherKnives.com. Just a really cool American company based out of Pittsburgh to support. Yes, the knives are made overseas, but like many companies in the U.S., you are still supporting Americans by buying them because Justin is an American, obviously. The people shipping them and that all that kind of stuff. The delivery driver, those are all American jobs, guys. The steel is American. So, anyway, that's my little rant there. Check out AsherKnives.com. Use code LEFTY10, LEFTY10, for 10% off your order. It'll all be in the description. I absolutely love you guys, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I will catch you later.